Hello, everybody. We are Peter and Phil here. We are practically lifetime long best friends who have decided to share our opinions on a matter of things, whether it be food or sports, which are the two topics of today, to anything else that we decide to come up with. The name of our show we've named Our Take, which has double meaning, having that we want to give our take, our opinion, as well as that we aim to keep each episode around an hour. So today, our two topics are going to be our top 5 favorite holiday foods or drinks that we've come up with that that we've ranked and we're gonna react to each other's, and then our takes on our predictions for the 2021 MLB season. At the time of recording, spring training is starting as we speak. So we decided that us both being pretty big baseball fans of different teams, as you can obviously see on both of our screens. So we're going to give our takes on that.
Yeah, so basically we just want to throw out our opinions on a lot of different stuff. And we've had a lot of interesting discussions over the past years and decided to make it a podcast. So enjoy, and this is our take. So right now we're going to be discussing a very controversial topic of favorite seasonal snacks and drinks and stuff like that from different seasons around the year. We each have 5, and we'll be going through those lists now. My number 5 is going to be that Shamrock Shake. I do have it at number 5.
Okay.
It's good. It's not my favorite.
Okay. The Shamrock's on my list too, but we don't know what each other's picked yet. But
no, we don't.
Okay. All right. What made the Shamrock Shake number 5 for you?
So I do like it, but I don't love it. I don't need to have 17 of them throughout the month of March. They're really good though. But I mean, just give me a vanilla shake or a strawberry shake, and I'd be happy with that too.
Okay, fair enough. I think that the marketing around the Shamrock Shake is really good because, obviously you probably learn it in your easiest marketing classes, but when you take things away, people start to crave them and start to want them.
And yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that definitely allows, the other day when they just came back, I want to go get one. Whereas if they were here all year round, doesn't really faze me.
Definitely, McDonald's has one of the best marketing schemes out there. I mean, even with the McRib coming back, I tried that. It was terrible, but I tried it because
you still
it was
tried
back.
it. Yeah. You still tried it, which,
yeah,
whether you liked it or not, they got your money. So
yeah.
Okay.
Also, right. a great part about the Shamrock Shake is the memories behind meeting each other in Shamokin Dam, Pennsylvania, without knowing it.
Yeah. So a little background on that story is that I was at a volleyball tournament in Richmond, Virginia. And where were you? You were at a college visit.
I was visiting Catholic U down in Washington, D.C.
Right. And where exactly is Shamokin Dam? Right in the middle of Pennsylvania, I'd say.
Yeah, about, I want to say an hour and a half to 2 hours away from Williamsport.
Right.
South of that, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I was in the drive-through driving back, and this guy just comes up to my window and starts banging on my window in the drive-through. And it happened to be Phil. And we had no idea. Keep in mind, we live 3 hours away from, or more, from Shamokin Dam.
Yeah. And a lot more than 3 hours.
Yeah, a lot more. And it took a minute for me to realize, that's Phil in a completely different state. And we that, I mean, one in a million chances that happens really. And yeah, we just hung out for the 10 minutes that we were there. We got out, I got out of my car in the drive-through, went in and hung out there. So yeah, that was yeah, I did get a Shamrock Shake that day. That was a weird experience, but
Yeah, that was the point of stopping because Shamokin Dam, if you're not familiar with it, to anybody watching or listening, has like this long stretch of road with a lot of fast food on the other side. So it's a great spot to stop for when you're traveling. And I just stopped and I saw Peter's car and I'm just like, oh, that's like Peter's car. And then I'm just like, oh my God, wait, that is Peter's car. So I
yeah,
went and banged down the window, scared the
right,
crap out of him, but that was a great time.
right, yeah. Okay, so to my number five, I put as Peeps for Easter time.
Peeps, oh, those are good.
Yeah, they are the marshmallow filled like sugary outside drinks they or snacks, not drinks, sorry. That come as like bunnies and ducks and stuff that you usually get in your Easter basket. And I put it at number five. They're not my favorite, but I'm not upset if I got it in my Easter basket when I was younger, or I see them on the shelf and I decide I want them. Like I'm not upset by them. I really enjoy having them. There are obviously things I would like better. There's four more things, but yeah. So Peeps is what I put for number five.
Yeah, I mean, Peeps are definitely a good snack. The nice thing about Peeps is they are seasonal because they only come out around Easter time,
Right.
but those things will last forever.
They will. They
Like if I get a box of Peeps for Easter, I could be eating them in December easily.
yeah. Yeah. You just gotta make sure you keep them in the package so they don't get stale.
Yeah, but
That's the
dude, even
worst.
stale Peeps, pretty good,
Yeah. Okay.
pretty
Good
good.
point. Yeah. All right. What do you have for number four?
All right, so number four is I think something that most people wouldn't think of as like a seasonal snack, but something that's near and dear to my heart. Homemade Christmas cookies, like Christmas cutouts.
Okay.
Those are great. I just have a ball making them and eating them. And
Do you have
they're
a
delicious.
certain type? Like, do you like the sugar cookies or chocolate chip or what?
Yeah, I like the sugar cutouts when you
Right.
get to frost
That's
them
what
and
I thought
all
you
that.
meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I like those too. I was thinking of including that on my list, but I figured I would put those as an honorable mention. They're definitely really good. But
yeah.
all right. So my number four would be this is a little bit of a controversial one because you could have this any time of the year, but this time of year it just feels better. I went with Fourth of July cookout.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so obviously you have a cookout any time of the year, really, but like Fourth of July, that's just American trademark. Having the
Yeah,
cookout there, having brisket, having ribs, kind of a thing.
throwing a
It just
baseball,
it's
watching the fireworks. What a
right,
time!
right, yeah, for sure. So I definitely like having that around Fourth of July, along with like the cake and the cupcakes there, but particularly the grilled food.
Well, that is a perfect segment into my number three,
Okay.
which is going to be that summertime dessert of strawberry shortcakes.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's the dessert I'm talking about. Okay, I like that.
Those
Yeah.
are one of the greatest desserts ever created. You know, you get those nice fresh strawberries, put them on that biscuit. It softens that biscuit up,
Right.
and it's just so good.
Well, I remember my grandma, every time I would go to her house, I would be eating bowls full and bowls full of strawberry shortcake. She would do the thing you do with the sugar. You pour a bunch of sugar on it and it releases all the juice out of the
Yeah, you
strawberries.
let those strawberries sit. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. So you get the whatever it is, like pound cake or bread underneath, like all soaked up with the whipped cream on top. Right. Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's a
All
good
right,
number.
but here's the question though.
Yeah.
You said shortbread or like a little pound cake.
Right.
What's better, that little pound cake that like are sold as strawberry shortcake biscuits, or like an actual biscuit?
I definitely think that the cake consistency the pound cake or the shortcakes are better. I wouldn't say that the made circular shortcakes with the indent in them are any better. I don't know if that's the way I would want to go with that, but definitely like the loaves that you buy at the store where you cut up and then you could put like multiple layers inside of the bowl and then fill the bowl with the shortcake. That's definitely the way to go, whether it's homemade or store bought. But those circular ones that you buy in the store, those are no good. You're
Now,
just
mate, I'm telling you, biscuits, whether it be homemade or what, biscuits are the best because here's my reasoning. When you put the sugars in the strawberry and let them sit, they get really sweet, especially with whipped cream on top or
right.
even ice cream on top.
Oh, so you're saying to
That
balance
cake
it.
is going to be too sweet with it. It's just going to make it just way too sugary.
Well,
That
the
biscuit
cake isn't
cancels out some of that sweetness.
the cake isn't particularly sweet. It's just thicker than biscuit. So that you can because when the if you have a biscuit, it's a little bit thinner because if the juice comes out of the strawberry and comes into the biscuit might fall apart. Whereas the pound cake, it's still a really thick cake, so it still gets wet from the juice and still holds it, but it doesn't fall apart.
Dude, I'm telling you, when that biscuit falls apart and those little pieces just soak up the strawberry juice and just get so wet and mushy, and you eat that, it's the best part of strawberry shortcake.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
What's your number three?
My number three, let me pull it up here. My number three is gonna be the Shamrock Shake again. We already discussed this. Uh, this is to me, this is just a staple all year round. It's one of the things that me and I know a lot of our friends look forward to getting. And the marketing of McDonald's really does a good job with like making people want it, but keeping it out long enough that they can still make the revenue from it. But the the big point to it is you can't disagree with the taste of the mint that it brings and just the perfect amount of mint. I've never had a Shamrock Shake where I was like, this does not have enough or too much. And coming from a place like McDonald's, not the most established place in terms of good food, but I definitely think they do justice with the same.
Yeah, they're definitely doing something right over there with the Shamrock Shake.
Yeah. All right. Number two, what do you got?
All right, so my number two is another drink, a seasonal drink coming around in the fall time, and that's going to be that pumpkin spice latte.
Right.
You know, you go to Starbucks, you get that thing. Oh my God, it is so good. I love pumpkin. It's just so good.
Okay. I personally don't like anything coffee. So I like pumpkin spice drinks. I like the flavor of it, the actual pumpkin spice, but when it's mixed with the coffee, not a fan.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of people's downfall with like the PSL or anything like that. Is it's the coffee, but they do have all kinds of different pumpkin spice. They have pumpkin spiced everything. I've even had pumpkin spice pumpkin seeds
Really?
from Trader Joe's. They were delicious.
Wow. Okay, I've never heard of that. What are they? So does it just have like a seasoning on them?
Yeah, it's got that pumpkin spice seasoning on like a dried up pumpkin seed.
Huh.
It is one of the best things I've ever snacked on in my life.
Okay.
That deserves an honorable mention.
All right. All right.
What do you have for number two?
I have my Grammy's butter cookies. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with these, but these cookies are essentially a baked log of butter and dough, or butter and flour to make dough. It's a really buttery dough, and you slice it really thinly. So it's just these crisps essentially. And from one batch, you could make 200, 300 cookies out of it. And then you put a little bit of that sugar like sprinkles, I guess, right on top of the cookie, sticks right into the butter. You could eat 10 or 20 of them in one sitting. They're so
I
good.
feel like I've been at your house enough times that I had to have had them.
You must have at some point.
But like, I mean, it's been a while. I need your Grammy to make me some right now.
Oh, okay.
That sounds delicious.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll get on that. But they are just like ultimate Christmas cookie kind of a thing. It's your sugar cookie mixed in, but just a buttery sugar cookie, essentially.
That sounds so good.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
What is your number one?
All right, so I couldn't narrow it down.
Okay. Okay.
I had a common theme and a common season, but I couldn't narrow it down to just one snack or drink or anything. So I'm just going number one the entire Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay. I thought of that too, but I
I'm
didn't
just
put
going the turkey, the stuffing, the gravy, the mashed potatoes, the pumpkin pie, everything. Just so
right.
good.
Right. Okay, that's a really good number one. I was thinking of putting stuffing, like homemade stuffing, as
Oh
number
yeah.
one. But I really like that number one. I definitely look forward to Thanksgiving more than I should simply because of the dinner. Um, even
Has
though that
nothing to
is
do with the family.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like you can't go wrong. The best thing after, like for seconds after you have your whole plate, is where you just put the mashed potatoes and then like the corn on top and then the stuffing right on top and just mix it all up into one big like bowl essentially. It reminds me of the KFC famous bowls
Oh
almost,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
like better, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like to make,
I
especially the days
definitely
afterwards, make a nice sandwich with everything. You put mashed potatoes and stuffing on that sandwich. So good.
now would the sandwich be better with the pound cake or the biscuit?
Oh, I mean, I got a good biscuit on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
What do you got at number one?
All right. Number one, I have homemade apple pie.
Oh,
I
okay.
I know this is controversial because I know a lot of people don't like the chunkier fruits in their apple pie. I know people don't like fruit in their pie at all. They like the chocolate pies and stuff like that. But I definitely think that having the apple pie with the loaded brown sugar in it and then the like the buttercream kind of crust, you can't go wrong. Have it with some vanilla ice cream. I definitely think that that's like I definitely look forward to that all year round for Christmas and Thanksgiving. So
I personally am not that big of an apple pie guy.
I know you're
I'm a
not.
big pumpkin guy.
I was gonna,
I,
yeah,
I like those chocolate pies that you were talking about, something like that.
right.
I mean, if I had to make a list of my top pies, apple might make it in the top 20.
Really, I can't.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But would you eat it if it was in front of you? Like you don't
Oh,
not
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'd eat anything.
Right. I know. All right. So that's the first segment of today. We're gonna get into our uh predictions for the MLB season. We think that we're going to disagree a lot on some areas, but we really don't know again. So we'll get into that. Maybe we'll do something soon where we actually taste test these foods. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
But can't go wrong with that. But all right, we'll get into the next segment now.
All right. So our next topic is going to be MLB baseball predictions for the 2021 season. We're both pretty big baseball fans, grew up playing the game, grew up watching the game. And we just want to make some predictions because today, not when this is coming up, but when we're recording this, is opening day for the spring training games. They're all underway now. Some of them have already finished. Some of them are just beginning. And we just want to throw out our predictions and maybe revisit them in the future or mid-season or even the end of the season. So let's begin with
Great.
the AL East.
Yeah. So for the AL East, I had as my number 5 team the Orioles. The Orioles have not been good for a while. They won a pennant or not a pennant. They did well in the postseason a while ago in the early 2000 teens, but they just not have made any improvements to their team to me. I think that Chris Davis's awful slump just describes this team in the fullest. I actually don't mind the Orioles. I've been to their stadium. Unfortunately, not for a game, but I've been to Utah Street there, and it's quite a nice place. I don't mind the Orioles, but I can't put them high up on this list at all. What do you think, Phil?
You know, I agree. I think the Orioles aren't going anywhere. I don't have anything against Baltimore. I just don't think they're going anywhere. The only way I see them not coming fifth is if the Red Sox tank, and I could see that happening again.
Right, I can see that happening too, and we'll just type that in right now.
Yeah,
With
and
the
I
Red
think the
Sox,
Red Sox would be in fourth, and I think that's interchangeable, honestly.
right? I think that the Red Sox have really dug themselves deep into the hole. They have a good amount of World Series in recent history. I am biased, obviously. You can see behind me with being a Yankees fan, but the Red Sox have really dug themselves into a hole with losing Mookie Betts. They have decent offense. JD Martinez, I think, will have a little bit better year than he has been, um, along with Bogarts. And
I think
I think
Devers is like the whole team, though.
right, yeah, um, yeah, Bogarts, Devers. I think that their real downfall is their pitching. Their pitching is atrocious. Um,
Even with the pickup of Adam Ottavino or
right,
Adovino with from the
yeah,
Yankees, I just don't see them going anywhere.
right. I mean, I think he'll help. He was decent on the Yankees, but
A
but
relief pitcher
one
isn't
man,
going to help.
right, one man in the
Yeah,
bullpen isn't going to change anything,
for sure.
honestly. So
And I'm personally a pretty big Red Sox fan. I mean, I'm a Nationals fan first, but I do like the Red Sox. I especially hate the Yankees, but
I know,
I'm gonna have to put the Red Sox down 4 or 5.
right? Okay. So for the third team, middle of the way for the AL East, I'm gonna put as the Blue Jays. Now
Ooh,
this is up for debate here because obviously the last two teams that we've yet to talk about are the Yankees and Rays, and the Blue Jays are known as an up and coming team here. They have a lot of young talent. I watched the game today where they whooped up on the Yankees, but granted, it's spring training. um, but I think that Vladimir Guerrero is going to have a little bit better of a year. I think Bo Bichette's going to have a little better of a year. I think that the I think that the signing of George Springer is also going to contribute a little bit, but I do not see the Blue Jays contending for the top spot in the division. I could see them contending for second, however you want to put it there.
I
But
I I personally have the Blue Jays as a contender for second place. I just think, especially the Rays, I don't know how the hell they made it to the World Series last year. I don't think they belong to go there. I think taking Blake Snell out of the game was the stupidest decision. I also think trading Blake Snell was the stupidest decision.
I
I have the
agree.
Rays at number 3.
You have the Rays at number three. Okay. I have the Rays at number two. How do you want to put this in?
I
I'm
don't think it matters because I think it'll be a race at no matter what.
okay. Yeah, I think that Kevin Cash made an awful decision with taking Blake Snell out of the game. Uh, of course, which we all know. Um, only on a low amount of pitches for a postseason caliber game like that. Um, and I think
Talk
that
about throwing the series. My God.
right, he threw it, but you got to give him some credit because would the race have been there without him? I think that G-Man Choi is a great player. I don't think he's World Series caliber.
Oh,
I
neither
think
do I.
I think that the rest of their team are halfway decent players, and they have such a low salary on their team. It is quite amazing that they got there. But I feel like if the Rays really want to be a contender, they're going to have to spend some money. I think that that's the sole thing. They opened up space. They've had space open, believe me, but they've opened up space, getting rid of Blake Snell, and I just don't see it happening with the Rays. I think that they were in an underdog position last year, and I think they're even in more of one this year. So, what do you
I
think?
honestly think they blew their chance. I think they're done.
I agree. I agree with that. I think they're still a solid team. I think they're going to have some real production guys there, but I don't see it. And then obviously,
I'm not going to say it. You can't make me say it. I'm not going to say it.
The Yankees are in a really good spot to winning the AL East here. I don't like the situation they're in for the future. I think that Stanton's contract is going to hurt. I think that Cole's contract is going to hurt. I really like LeMahieu's contract. I really like signing Brett Gardner again. I personally think they're going to stick with Judge. I think he'll re-sign when he needs to, but I think this is the year for the Yankees to really clamp down on the AL East, because with the exception of the Rays, maybe, and the Blue Jays, if they have some massive breakout year, I don't think that there's another contender. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I like to think I'm a little bit in the right saying that they're gonna do well this year. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, I hate the Yankees, but I have to say they're gonna win the AL East. I think for sure they will. I mean, and with signings like Corey Kluber and Jameson Taillon,
right?
That's just big. That's gonna help their bullpen. Both older players, but
well, yeah, they've both helped their bullpen and they've both helped their starting pitching with Kluber and Taillon. How they use them is still yet to be determined. Obviously, Garrett Cole's going to be the starting.
Oh, yeah.
Luis Severino, still injured, but he's right there, too, to come back in the beginning into middle of the season. And
they got rid of Paxton, so.
They did get rid of Paxton. The main problem that everyone's been saying about the Yankees is their starting pitching is being awful, and that's simply true. And the Yankees went out and did what they had to do. They got their halfway decent starting pitching. So I have high hopes. I think it still might be a little bit of a rough year with having some veterans on the pitching staff who may be past their prime, but I still think they still have some gas left in the tank there.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll be beneficial to the Yankees, and based on the other four teams in that division, I don't think anybody else is going anywhere. I have to say it, Yankees on top.
All right. So for the AL Central, which is very big up for debate, who do you have in last place here?
I got to go Detroit.
Detroit. Okay.
I just don't think they had that great of a season, and I don't think they did enough to fix it.
Okay. I had Detroit in third place this year.
Okay.
I think that Detroit. So maybe we can come to a compromise here and put Detroit right in between. I think.
I agree.
So I think that having Casey Mize, having a pretty decent farm system is really going to help Detroit in the future years here. I think the worst of it is behind them. I definitely think that the AL Central is a pretty weak division this year. When you mix in the Royals, when you mix in the Tigers, when you mix in the Indians with everybody they've lost, I think Detroit having a young team in comparison to their young team is definitely going to help them coming up. For last place, I had the Royals. Can we agree with putting them last?
Yeah, they were my number 4 spot, but yeah.
Okay. So I think the Royals are going to be in last. I don't see anything here. Pitching's awful. Offense is awful. Bullpen isn't awful, but
it's not good.
Else, it's not good, definitely. But their World Series team was really promising when they went to the World Series, and then eventually they won. And I'm really happy for the Royals for that year. I don't mind the Royals. I really like them actually, but they again it's the issue of just like not being able to get the good player here, get a good contract on somebody. I personally thought that the Royals were going to have a really good chance of signing Arenado. He ultimately went to the Cardinals, but I think that was a really good chance that the Royals didn't really do too much in. So what do you think about that, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think if you're in Kansas City, stick with the Chiefs because the Royals aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. At least there's something okay coming out of that city.
Yeah. I would say my third place is going to be the Indians.
Indians, that's who I have too. So again, promising a number of years back with postseason success and all that,
They
but
did, yeah,
there's just nothing. There's nothing
yeah.
there,
But I
honestly.
do think with Detroit and Kansas City, I don't think they'll come in last, but
Right.
I don't see them coming in anything higher than three.
Okay. Yeah. I I think that a lot of their players, like Brantley, gone a long time ago. Um, Lindor out to the Mets. That's a
Yep,
big loss. I
that's
think
a
the Indians.
huge loss.
That's a huge. Yeah, completely. I think the Indians need to go into rebuild mode, and I still think that with their halfway decent farm system, they they need to capitalize now if they want to be relevant again and not fall into a trap like the Orioles and the Royals of not being relevant and not having a great farm system. I think there's hope for the Indians for the next 10 years, but
Yeah, I mean,
you got it.
Cleveland had that nice stretch of championships, both basketball, baseball, and then
Right.
they just fell off the map.
Yeah. Okay. So number 1 and 2, what'd you have here?
I gotta go White Sox at two.
Really?
I
I had
think
it the other way.
I had the Twins going number one.
Okay. I think I'm gonna change to that. I had the White Sox at number 1, and we can talk about it.
I mean, I think it'll be close for sure, but I think the Twins have just been playing real well in the last couple of years, and I think they can do it again this year.
They have. They've had some really good players, especially in Max Kepler. Uh, just a great all around player there. Um, I was living in Rochester like for the past multiple years. The farm system has uh been the Red Wings with being the Twins farm system.
Almost our
Uh,
entire lives, yeah.
yeah, obviously switching to the Nationals this year, but I think that the Twins have finally utilized that farm system and have gotten some good homegrown players, uh, which is something that a lot of teams don't really do that well. Um, I'd like to say a lot of the strengths of the teams that did well that last year, like the Rays and the Yankees and the Dodgers, the things that they've done well is home grow guys, and I think that the Twins have finally gotten the idea of that. Same with the White Sox, though. They have Luis Robert. They have Eloy Jimenez. These are all good, really young players. I really like the talent on both these teams, but I think that you're right, Phil. I think that the Twins are definitely a little closer to this particular team's prime than the White Sox.
I definitely agree. I think it's going to be a close race between the two of them, and I think even the Indians might make a push this year if they really try. But I think Twins are going to be on top.
Right. I think that this division's pretty wide open, honestly. There's two obvious teams, and then you're right with the Indians and maybe even Detroit in there doing well, maybe making a wild card run. I think this division is going to be really interesting to watch, and I think we're going to be wrong just based on all the other options that this could come out as
Oh
for
yeah,
AL
for
Central.
sure.
All right, let's move on to the AL West then. Um, Another division that's a little bit low right now. I don't see a glaring team here, but I think that it's pretty obvious on who last place is. Am I right? I think
Yeah,
we're gonna I think we're gonna have the Rangers in last
yeah.
place here.
I mean that's no doubt. They just what the hell are they doing down there?
I think that since the past 10 years have gone by, it's just been a slow downward spiral here. I personally don't know what their farm system's like. Um, I'm gonna be honest there. We can look that up in a bit, but I they're they don't have many good players. They were pretty good back with the whole rivalry with the Blue Jays with Jose Bautista and Elvis
Mm,
Andrus. That was really fun to watch. I don't mind the Rangers. I think they're a really fun team to watch. I think their new stadium is going to bring in a lot of fans. Unfortunately, their first good season that's going to be relatively open with COVID is going to be with a little bit pinch of salt with how bad they're going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. They had one of the worst records last year, if not the worst. I think the Pirates had a worse record, and so the Pirates.
Right. Okay. So who do you think for number 3 and 4 area?
A's and Mariners.
A's and Mariners. Okay. I had the Mariners at 4 as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Kyle Lewis, he's pretty good young talent, but I think that since Felix Hernandez is gone, I think that era of the Mariners is over. Just really solid pitching wise. I don't mind the Mariners. I want to see them succeed. They are not a typical high winning team, but
no, they aren't.
I don't see the hope there currently. It's unfortunate, but I think I don't think they have much of a chance to improve from number 4. So you had the A's as number 3.
I do.
I had the A's as number 1, which was one of my picks here. I'd be okay with moving the A's to number 2, but I can't move them all the way to number 3. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I could agree with that.
I think that Matt Chapman, Matt Olson are really in the prime of their career right now. And I don't think it's going to last for much longer in Oakland. I think that the Moneyball system works to an extent. They've had a lot of success going to wild card games.
They have, but not much past that, though.
Right. I think that almost any team could always make a case for being a wild card team, but it's really the big money players and the big time players that get you to the DS and the CS and the World Series furthermore. So, okay, the A's at number 2 then.
So I don't think the A's are going to do that well this year, just without Semien and Hendricks.
This is true.
I think those are big losses.
Semien's a big loss. Yeah,
they had a great push last year. I just don't see it happening again.
Okay, fair enough. We can talk about that again when we get into who our wild card teams are going to be.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah. So
the next question is, who do you have at number 3?
Okay, so because of the shuffle here, this is going to pain me to say this, but I'm going to put the Angels at number 3 and the Astros at number 1.
No way.
You don't think?
No, I personally think that the Angels are going to have a good year this year.
Okay.
I think with the addition of my boy Kurt Suzuki, great pickup. But Mike Trout, I mean, come on, get him a championship.
I had an argument against this, and I think that Mike Trout, greatest player in the game right now, no doubt.
Oh yeah,
but I think we're getting into an issue here that the Rockies were in with Nolan Arenado. One good player, really high salary, can't go anywhere with the rest of the team.
I don't know though. They do have Tony Rendon, who's pretty good hitter. I mean, his fielding's okay, but I mean he can whack the ball.
I agree that they have good hitters on their team, and I agree that they have halfway decent people, but I feel like for a postseason run, I mean, it's a simple case of like, this is baseball. There are 9 hitters. There are 9 players on the field, and Mike Trout can't do it all. But I'm gonna be a little lenient. I'll go with it.
Okay.
I'm excited for when we do our video, our podcast for the next time around, in the middle of the season, and then at the end of the season, hopefully, about where this division actually turns out, because like the AL Central, I feel like this is pretty wide open.
I do too.
So I don't like talking about it. Astros, we'll put them at third.
Yeah,
They don't deserve.
we'll just skip over.
Yeah, we're just gonna I hope they get in last. I hope the Rangers beat them.
I hope they just get kicked out of the league. Like, go bang on trash can somewhere else. Moving
yeah,
on, NL East.
right. Okay,
Who do we
NL
think is
East.
going to win the NL East? Give me a second here.
You're good. I think that the winner of the NL East is gonna be the Mets.
Yeah, me
And
too.
not the
Actually,
Nationals.
I agree with that. Unfortunately,
I think that Lindor coming there, amazing pickup.
yeah,
I feel like Pete Alonso is going to have a little bit better of a year than he did. That
he's a
was
great
pretty
player.
bad last year.
Yeah, he
And
could
then
play a lot better than that.
right, and then pitchers DeGrom, Syndergaard. I think that that's pretty shut down lights out.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Mets, no doubt, will win the NL East. It pains me to say it that the Nationals won't, but that's what I think.
Okay. So number 2, who are you thinking?
I think it's going to be
no. Let's do it differently. Where do you think the Nationals are going to go? We'll put this in first.
Okay. So I think it's going to be a tight race between the Nationals and the Braves for number 2, 2 and 3.
For 2 and 3. Okay.
I think the Braves do have a great team, especially with Freddie Freeman.
Right.
Love the guy, but
right.
I honestly don't think the Braves can get it done this year. And I think the Nationals, with like new pickups such as Josh Bell, I think that's going to make a huge difference, as well as a lot of veteran players. Yeah, they're not going to be able to go for the long run, but might as well have a good season. I personally have the Nats at 2.
Okay. I was in a similar situation with something between 2 teams. I think that the Braves are going to be in second, and then the third spot is going to be a fight between the Marlins and the Nationals.
I don't personally see the Marlins having that great of a year this year. I think they had the run and it was kind of like a one and done kind of thing. I think they had a great year.
Perfectly acceptable opinion. Yeah, perfectly acceptable opinion there, because the Marlins have not been good at all the past few years. I think that their downfall was getting rid of Yelich and Stanton and their whole outfield. That was bad. That was really bad. I think that the Marlins had a little bit better of a season than anybody would have thought due to the shortened season with COVID. I think that they're a group of really talented, young, scrappy guys. And I feel like if they get some discipline in them, I feel like if their coaching does their job, I feel like in the next 5 years, honestly, a World Series championship team.
For sure. I just don't see it happening anytime soon.
Fair enough with that. And then last place. I know you're an ex-Pirates fan and still kind of a Pirates fan.
Pirates aren't in the NL East.
They are not. They're in the Central. Phillies. Yeah. The 2 Pennsylvania teams, I always mix them up. My bad. We'll just put the Pirates over here for now. We're going to talk about them later. Pirates.
Yeah. I think that's quite obvious.
Sorry about that. The 2 P teams, both Pennsylvania. So the Phillies, Bryce Harper, not what they hoped, honestly.
Bryce Harper has been very disappointing for the Phillies. Honestly, if he was going to continue with that in Washington, I'm glad he's gone. Right. I remember one of the first games he played back at National Stadium. I remember booing the crap out of him with all the other fans. It was one of the greatest moments of my life.
I think that that's a lot of wasted money.
I think for sure.
I think that Bryce Harper is basically a sped up version of Aaron Judge. Really young slugger at the start. Aaron Judge, he's still in his prime, obviously declining though. Bryce Harper was really young, not in his prime anymore, declining a lot quicker.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that the Phillies are going to be bad for a while, and I'm probably going to eat my words on that. But
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
We go down together on that one.
Okay. So NL Central. We have the
Now we
Pirates.
talk about the Pirates.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Last
Pirates.
place.
Just no talent. Like
They
simple as
had
that.
talent, and then they got
They
rid of
had
him.
talent. Josh Bell traded him. He was their pride and joy. Jameson Taillon traded to the Yankees. I get where they're going with this. They're in rebuild mode. That's
Oh,
perfect.
100%. They're not going for anything right now.
Yeah.
They don't want to win anything.
How do you feel about your ex team at this point? Are you still a Pirates fan or?
Yeah, so I grew up a Pirates fan. My first ever MLB game was going to PNC Park. I think it's a beautiful stadium. I think it was an awesome experience. But I think that team back then with McCutchen was a pretty good team, but I don't see them going anywhere now. Like you said, they're definitely in a rebuilding stage. I don't think they're aiming for any trophies right now. I think they're just trying to get a solid foundation back. And I think in the future, if it works out, I think they're making the right decisions here.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. How are you looking at the rest of this division here?
Oh, I think probably the Brewers might be in fourth place.
Fourth place. Okay.
And I only say that because I still think the Cubs and the Reds can play and have a chance. I personally think the Cardinals are going to come out on top.
I'll agree with you on that. I had the Brewers in second.
I think it's going to be a tight race for the middle three anyways, so I'm fine with that.
I think it's going to be Reds in second.
I do too. Like they lost Trevor Bauer, but I still think they have a solid team there.
I think so too. I think that they're again a young, scrappy team. I don't think they're postseason caliber whatsoever, but I think the Cubs are just washed. I think they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think that this should have been the off season and still might be the year where Chris Bryant or Anthony Rizzo gets dropped. I don't think that there's anything special that's going to happen there.
Yeah, I don't know why they're holding on to Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think just like we talked about with Bryce Harper, he's just wasting the money. I like him. I think he's a good player, or he was a good player, but I don't think he belongs in Chicago.
I think they got the World Series that they need to really revive that fan base. Sure. One note about the Brewers, actually, I think the Yelich is still going to be really good.
Oh, me too.
I think that there's no team to help them there. The farm system, I believe, is the worst in baseball. But I mean, obviously better than the Cubs and the Pirates, but
yeah,
no run there.
I don't see them doing anything.
Right. Okay, last division, NL West. Who you got on top?
I got a really close race going either way between the Dodgers and the Padres. I think the Padres already had a good team last year. I think adding Yu Darvish and Blake Snell to the rotation, I think that's big. But then again, the Dodgers coming off a World Series win, adding Trevor Bauer to the rotation, I think that's also a big pickup. Also, the re-signing of Justin Turner.
Right. I think that with that and me thinking the Dodgers are definitely going to be first, I think we'll put them on top there. And then the Padres second.
Yeah.
I think the Padres are definitely going to outscore or be better than the Dodgers in the next few years. But I think the Dodgers are still going to have that overpowering type of team with Mookie and Justin Turner and Trevor Bauer, in addition to an already really good rotation with Kershaw and May. I think that the Dodgers are going to make another run at the World Series. I don't think they'll win it this year. I think that their run is going to be over, but that'll be a story for when we get down to the bottom.
Yeah.
So the Padres again, Blake Snell, Clevenger, re-signing of Tatis. It's going to be huge. They're going to be really good. I think
Tatis is one of the greatest young players playing the game right now, for sure.
Right. Right. Okay. 3, 4, 5. What were you thinking? I'm thinking the D-backs for 3.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that. I I don't see the Rockies having a good season, and the Giants are the Giants. They're trying their best, but they're just not getting it done.
How do you think about this? I think
I
the
agree.
Rockies could be last.
I agree. I don't
Okay.
think the Rockies are going anywhere. The Giants, they're gonna have a decent season, but not good enough.
I think the Giants are full blown in rebuild mode. I think that's really good. They had really good success in the uh, in the 2000s and 2010s. I
Yeah.
think that this stunt is is seen coming by a lot of
Hmm.
people, but they've been bad for a few years now. I think that the Rockies are the first team to go below them. I think the D-backs is next. I think that the Giants are gonna start to climb again. Who knows if they'll be as good as the Padres and the Dodgers, but I think that they're
Yeah, I
gonna.
don't think they can go there, but I do think they could challenge the D-backs for 3.
Right. Okay, so this is our initial list here. We're gonna revisit this probably multiple times throughout and at the end of the season.
All right, so now we're going to talk about who we think is going to be moving on to the wild card rounds in both the National League and the American League, followed by the Divisional Series, Championship Series, and then the World Series. So let's get started with the American League. I mean, so the Yankees, Twins, and Angels are out because they're obviously going to move on to the Divisional as the winning in their division.
Right. And when we'll talk about that a little bit when we get to it. But so we're looking at some teams here in the second place and third place. What are we thinking here? This is a big choice. I definitely think the White Sox are going to be one of them.
I personally think the Blue Jays belong out there.
The Blue Jays. Okay. All right. So going against what we looked at, so we should probably change this up here.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I mean, I was pretty up in the air about this. And then we'll put them here. All right. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So those teams are then going to play for the final spot in the ALDS, which we'll talk about in a sec. But National League now, wild card. I think that this is pretty obvious. Honestly, I think we're going to have the Padres.
The Padres, yeah, for sure.
Second one.
That's a bit of a tougher question.
I think it's going to be the Braves coming off.
Me
of a
too.
Good,
I don't think the Reds have enough to get it done. I don't think the NL Central is as strong as the NL East this year. I definitely think the Braves can make a good run in the wild card.
Right. I think that the Braves had a really good run last year. That looked really promising. I could see them doing it again.
Yeah.
Honestly. Really good team there. So now on to our ALDS and NLDS. We put these teams in order based on how well we spoke of them the last time around when we were doing our MLB predictions in the last segment. And we put them in order, being the Yankees being the top, Twins, and then Angels for the ALDS. But Phil, which one of the wildcard teams do you think are going to go to the ALDS?
I got to say White Sox.
Okay.
I think they're a stronger team. I think they have more potential. I mean, I could look like a complete idiot come October, but I definitely think the White Sox, as of right now, have potential.
Right. I agree with you. So, yeah, that I definitely I don't think the Blue Jays are going to go far in the playoffs. They're just not there yet.
No,
Keyword yet. I think they will be, but all right. And what do you think for the NLDS?
I mean, I gotta say Padres. I think the Padres Dodgers is going to be the closest race in the NL West. I think that's going to be the closest race throughout the league. I think that's definitely something to keep an eye out during the season. Is the Padres Dodgers?
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. That it's going to be really fun to watch. I think that that's going to turn into a big rivalry.
Yeah, for sure.
Out west there. Okay. ALCS.
We got some decisions to make here.
We do. So it'll be the Yankees against the White Sox.
And then Twins Angels.
And the Twins Angels.
I know who you're going to pick between Yankees, White Sox, and
I mean, you have to. The White Sox aren't that good.
Yeah, I hate to see it, but I have to agree.
The White Sox aren't that good. And I already see going down the line to the World Series how this is going to turn out, and I really like it. But we won't get there yet. The second team, who are you thinking? Twins, Angels?
I want it to be the Angels, but I think it's going to be the Twins.
I'm in the exact boat as you. I want to see the Angels go far, but the Twins. Now, this sets up a really, really cool series like we saw a few years ago with Aaron Hicks robbing the extra base hit. I think the Yankees and Twins is a really fun series. Two completely dynamically different teams there. But we'll talk about the winner of that in a second. NLCS. I think Mets Padres. If this happens, that's going to be a really fun series to watch.
That's going to be a tough series to call. I think both teams have a lot of potential there to win that series.
I think the Mets.
I mean, you can flip a coin, honestly.
I think the Mets are going to overpower them. Yeah. I think the Mets on the pitching side are going to overpower them, honestly.
Yeah. And I think the Dodgers will beat the Cardinals, no doubt.
Yeah. We'll go with that there. I feel
Mets,
like the
Cardinals
put out a good fight, but yeah, Mets and Dodgers and Yankees and Twins. That is a powerful championship round there.
That is.
I'm going to let you say the first word on ALCS to avoid bias on my part. I want to hear your thoughts before we get into accusations here.
So I definitely think both teams have the potential to make it. Both teams do have some weaknesses as well. But I do think the Yankees I think they've made the right moves, and I think they've done enough to get to the World Series.
I agree with you there.
I hate saying it. I'm going to go wash my mouth out with soap, but the Yankees are going to the series.
I think so too. I think that the window is closing though. I think
do too.
5 years down the line, there's going to be a consistently third place team with a lot of money owed.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of sports these days with high salary teams. I think that they should have won in the past few years. At least should have gone to the World Series more dominantly.
Well, you can thank the Astros for that one.
I can thank the Astros for that one. I don't feel too bad about that one. But I think the harder choice is the NLCS.
I do too.
That's
going to be one hell of a game.
This is going to be a good series with a lot of good games. I was thinking when we were doing our NL West that the Dodgers are going back to the World Series indefinitely. But the Mets pitching is just so good.
The Mets has just put together such a great team. Would it be a New York World Series?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant when we were talking about the DSs.
Because I didn't even realize that until now.
I think that would be really, really fun. And I think that is completely realistic.
Wow. I think it's going to happen. Let's put the Mets in. Why the hell not?
we are.
Okay, we're back. So the question is, who will win the World Series? Yankees or Mets?
Now,
I think I know who you want.
of course, we know who I want up
But
here. But
let's be honest. I don't see the Yankees beating the Mets.
I think it's a big if. I think that the Yankees are going to be consistently mediocre for as much as a World Series team goes. I think that it's going to solely come down to if the Mets perform the World Series and in the playoffs.
I think if the Mets do what we think they can do, I think they win, no doubt.
I think so too.
However,
do that. Exactly.
I don't think the Mets will have a decent year. I think they're either going to have a really good year or they're going to completely suck.
Okay.
I don't see them having like just a decent year.
Okay. I'm gonna leave the decision up to you though to avoid bias because I could see this going either way.
I'm gonna go Mets.
Okay. I was leaning that way too. It pains me to say it, but if I'm gonna lose to a team, I'd rather be the Mets over the Dodgers or somebody like that. I know that that's a rivalry, but it's better than a lot of other options, in my opinion.
Plus, why not the Subway Series for the World Series?
I think that'd be really fun. I think that'd be cool to watch.
I think the last time it happened, and I think maybe the only time it happened was 2000.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, you're right.
Looking at your poster behind you, it didn't go this way, unfortunately.
Yeah, they won in 2000, but it might be the other way around there.
I'm excited. If this happens, that'll be great.
I'm excited too. I think there's a lot of interesting teams that are going to be in the playoffs this year. I think the White Sox are up and coming. I think the Padres are up and coming. I think the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Mets are at their prime right now. And I think that prime is slipping away for all three teams. I think that there's going to be a rollover in who the best teams are going to be in the next few years. And I'm honestly excited. I don't mind that. But
yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. Because we could have nailed it head on. We could get something right, something wrong, or we could be completely wrong.
We could be completely wrong. But okay. So that was our first episode here. Our goal is to make this completely about our opinion on a load of different topics. We don't want to talk about anything in particular too much. But we hope that you engage with us, whether that be on Instagram or comments. We hope that you enjoyed and give us feedback on what people might want to see. We have a lot of ideas and we hope it all works out. But yeah, I hope that everyone enjoyed. And you have any last comments, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, so right now we're basically planning on putting this on YouTube, but eventually maybe putting this on Spotify or Apple or anything like that. Anywhere you get podcasts, I'm not sure exactly where. I don't personally listen to a lot of podcasts, other than on YouTube. But I definitely think this could be an interesting idea, and I hope we have a lot of success doing it. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you have any suggestions or comments, or you want to see us talk about anything in particular, or want to weigh in on this MLB ranking, put it in a comment down below. And please make sure to share this to all your family and friends who might be interested in baseball or seasonal snacks. And please subscribe.
Yep. All right. We'll see you.
This has been Pete and Phil, and this is Our Take.